The Ukrainian Orthodox Church is more than 1,000 years old. The Ukrainian President Zelensky has decided to ban it.
Here's what Tucker's talking about. In 2024, Ukraine took action against the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate. But why? 81% of Ukrainians are Christian. Why would a Christian country consider restricting a church?
I first heard Tucker Carlson say that Zelensky's persecuting Christians at the end of 22. Like all good propaganda, there's a kernel of truth. There's the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, which is the branch of the Russian Orthodox Church inside Ukraine.
The Russian Orthodox Church is led by Patriarch Kirill, who, like Vladimir Putin, previously served in the Soviet KGB. Under Putin and Kirill, the Russian Orthodox Church has become an arm of the Russian state. Through the 2010s, as Putin became more openly hostile toward Ukraine and the West, his influence reaching the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate became a source of concern for the Ukrainian government. How could Ukraine maintain its independence from Moscow while a Kremlin-aligned church had such deep sway inside its borders? In 2018, a council re-established an independent home for Ukrainian Orthodoxy, the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. And in 2019, Patriarch Bartholomew, the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople and spiritual leader of Orthodox Christians worldwide, officially recognized the Orthodox Church of Ukraine and granted it autocephaly, or self-governorship. The Orthodox Church of Ukraine became a home for Orthodox believers with a Ukrainian Patriarch, independent from Moscow. The hope was that the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate would merge with the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. But when Russia invaded and the Russian Orthodox Church declared the invasion a holy war against Ukraine and the West, the leaders of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate declined the opportunity to formally break communion with Moscow.
These clergy reported to the Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill in Moscow all their lives. There's about 100 clergy from the Ukrainian Orthodox Church that are on trial for things ranging from preaching surrender to targeting artillery for the Russians. Some Ukrainian clergy who still answer to the Moscow Patriarch have proven themselves to be a national security threat. And 83% of Ukrainians agree that something needs to be done.
I always had a question, why should we be united with Moscow? For them, any church, it's instrument for their Kremlin politics. They believe in Russian world more than in paradise. They believe in Russian Tsar more than in Jesus Christ. Many of their priests and bishops believe if you die for Russia, then you will have eternal life.
Ukrainians are leaving the Moscow Patriarchate in droves. In 2010, 23.6% of Ukrainians belong to the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate, but as of 2024, that number had fallen to just 5.5%. Now, Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate leaders have started claiming they actually are independent from Moscow, but all they've done is post about it on social media and update their charter with links to documents that actually affirm the church's permanent membership under Moscow. And they have taken none of the formal steps required under Orthodoxy to actually separate. This is like a married man claiming he's divorced, simply because he changed his Facebook status to single. So in 2024, Ukraine's parliament passed a law requiring Ukrainian churches to establish their independence from geopolitical enemies like Russia. The law was supported by the Ukrainian Council of Churches and Religious Organizations, a group that represents all the major Evangelical and Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, and Orthodox churches.
Some can ask why in Ukraine some Orthodox bishops are arrested. They are arrested not for their believing to Christ, but for their believing to terrorist Putin. When somebody propagate terrorism, what do they do in America? Maybe they stopped this.
In fact, the new Ukrainian law is very similar to what happened during the American Revolution, when the Anglican Church held allegiance to the King of England. The Continental Congress saw this as a national security threat and took action that led to a flourishing of independent American Protestant denominations. The new Ukrainian law gives the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate 9 months to formally break ties with Moscow, and it established a 6-step process, including judicial review, before any individual church could lose its registration. All the new law requires is for the church to formally break communion with the Russian Church. Hundreds of priests and laypersons of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Moscow Patriarchate itself endorsed this idea, signing a letter asking the church to formally break communion with Moscow. The fact that they won't or can't suggests that it may actually be Russia standing in the way of religious independence, not Ukraine.